This is going to be a tutorial about CamelCamelCamel.com. Now, I'm not a pro when it comes to CCC. However, I have used it for over a year, and it does help me make decisions about whether or not to source an item and how to price it. So I will share with you what I know about it and how it helps me. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of things I don't know about CamelCamelCamel that I don't use, that sort of thing, but it does really help with sales rank and sales price history and knowing how often a book or other item sells. So I use this for books, CDs, VHS tapes, and some other random items, but mostly those three categories. So I'm going to launch right into it. Ready, set, go. Okay, here is the first book, which is called Among the Thugs by Bill Buford. Now I'm going to look at three different books, a VHS tape and a CD. So this book I'm actually reading currently, so I'm not sending it in, but it is a good example. So here we are on the offer page on Amazon, and I have all of the Prime offers showing. There's quite a few, just so you can kind of get a feel for what the book is, where the book is with the pricing and whatnot. There's an Amazon offer for $12.64, and then there are about 8 or so offers just underneath it, all the way down to $8.76 in good condition. So let's take a look at what CCC. So for short, I'll say CCC instead of having to say camel, camel, camel all over again. I can say 3 camels. Maybe I'll say 3 camels. So I'll say 3 camels. So let's take a look at 3 camels. Now the way I do it is, you can see here in the top right corner, there's a little icon, and when you hover over it, it says the Camelizer. So this is for the Chrome browser. This is an extension you can get, and it's free. You just add it to your browser, and then you click on it when you're on the page and another tab. So here is the other tab. Now usually it'll open right to price history, but I have it to sales rank because that's what I'm going to talk about most. So again, this is a book that is all the way down to $8.76, and it is has a $12.64 offer. So this is the kind of book that I would send in. The rank is pretty low right now. It's around 56 or 55,000, I believe, when I looked at it. So here's the thing, guys. When you drop onto sales rank, it'll have all of the offers. So let me show you though how this works first of all. So on the left side here we have a graph, right? On the left side, the vertical axis, I believe it's called, and then the horizontal axis, but nonetheless, the one going up and the one going up and the one going to the right. So the one going up here, the vertical axis, you have sales rank. So at the top is 0, right, or basically 1, which would be the top selling book on Amazon. All the way up to where it maxed out. So that's where you look to find where it sits for the sales rank. On the bottom is the date. So as you can see here, you have the years underneath. This is 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way to 16. And then it has months, right, and dates next to them. So February to December. Now this is all. So this goes back to 2010. I don't really care about the last 6 years. I want to know about the last year. And then I can even hone in to 6 months, 3 months, or 1 month. I like to look at a year, so I get a long term. So I get sort of a long perspective of it. So it's not just 1 month or 3 months or even 6 months. I kind of want to see what it's done over the last 12 months, especially for a book that might be a slower seller. But you can also look in closer all the way down to 1 month. So let's go back to 1 year. Now, something that's really helpful here is at the bottom. Underneath the graph, here it says sales rank, and then it says next to it best and worst. So this is the best rank it has had, which is 5370, and the worst is 154,109, or yeah, 154,000. So so that's pretty simple, right? The lower the rank, the better, right? That means the more copies that are selling every day. And that's the other thing, which is weird about the graph. The higher you go on the vertical axis, the better it is. It doesn't seem like it should work like that, basically. So, but that's how it works. So the higher it goes on the graph on the left, the better. So 53.70 and 154. Currently, it is selling really well since about June. Here you can see June 9th. It is done really well. It's gone all the way down to close to that 5,300, 6,000 or so, and at most it's been up here at 88,000. So when it's really bunched together like this, it means that it's selling a lot of copies. Let me show you. So as I go down to 6, it kind of spreads out some more. 3 months, it spreads out some more. And then down to 1 month, it spreads out even more. You can actually see the individual line. So this is how it works. When you look at it a little closer, you can get an idea of what this means, the line means. Basically, as it goes down, it means that it's not selling. But when it jumps back up, it means there was a sale because it's registering a sales rank change. Now, the way that Amazon works is the sales rank adjusts every time, or I should say the sales rank goes down every time there's a sale. So this goes all the way down here to almost 70,000, then it drops down to 40,000. Then it drops again, and then it drops again. So those should be sales here, right? It's dropping, 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 but then it goes all the way down, sale, sale. So there's some clearer lines. This one's a little not as clear when you look at it, but basically this is a lot of sales. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get the point. This is probably selling at least a copy or two a day, averaged out. At least a copy a day, so 30 plus copies a month. It's hard to tell with this one, but based upon when you look at the year, it's selling a lot of copies, and when its lowest rank is 154,000, this is a very good book that is selling a lot of copies. So it's just up to how much you paid for it and how much you're willing to list it for, because the lowest price right now is $8.76. So if you paid $1, you still could make maybe $3.50, something like that, off of $8.76. But if you want to wait a little longer, bump it up to $10.29. You're just going to wait a little bit longer, but probably not too long. So I hope that makes sense, guys, that the lines are when a sale is made. Or I should say, when the line goes up, it means a sale was made based upon how the sales rank works. So sales rank is just the average or how often the book sells, a particular book sells. And it's changing about every hour, believe it or not. So if a book sells once a month, then it's every hour it's going up and up and up. That's the thing. When the sale happens, it'll drop within that hour. Let's say it goes down to 30,000, but then it'll slowly creep up. If it doesn't sell again for another week, every hour roughly it'll be adjusting and going up until it sells again, and then the sales rank will drop. That's why if you see 1 million, that it hasn't sold for a little while. But this one, for instance, hasn't gone over 154,000 in an entire year. So that's phenomenal that it hasn't even gone over 200,000, barely over 150,000. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Let's look at another one. Here's another one. This is one by Trump, America We Deserve. It's a hardcover. And as you can see, there's offers, quite a few. There's 3 pages of offers here. But it goes all the way down to $8.95 and $903, $9.95. Again, I'll look at 3 camels over here. I already have it open. And the interesting thing about this, which makes it different than the other one, this is on all. But yeah. So if you look at all, you'll see that it's done pretty well, right? It's probably averaged around 600,000, and it kind of dropped here all the way to 1.5 million. This is since 2010 now. But then here in, let's see, here in about March or so, it started to do much better because clearly Trump is running for president and people apparently want to read some of his books. So it got a big jump when you look at all, right? So now it's selling a lot more copies and the price probably went up as well. So when you look at 1 year, the lowest is, or the best is 3,654 sales rank, but the worst is 489,000. So this is not one of the better selling books of his, but it's selling pretty well. And based upon how many copies there are as well, you can see that it's selling a lot of copies. When you look at 1 month, it's probably selling, if not one a day, really close to it. Now, if we look at the price history, so price history works a little different. Again, it has the lowest and the highest down here at the bottom. And the line is just the price and how it fluctuates. Here's the dollar amount on the left side here, and on the bottom it is the date. So this is all. So this goes back to 2016. I want to put 1 year. Now that's Amazon. You can also click blue, which is here. The price type is third-party new, and then third-party used. As you can see, third-party new went through the roof, over $1,000. That's probably not legitimate. I don't think anyone spent $1,000 on the book. So here's a little easier to look at it this way. Over the past month, you can see that the third-party used has gone anywhere from $148 to $591. Third-party new, $9 to $12.70, and Amazon has gone up a little bit from $18 to $20, or fluctuated. Now, something I didn't mention talking about the first book is these are merchant fulfilled and FBA offers. So this doesn't break it down based upon merchant fulfilled or FBA. So when there's a sale or there's a price increase, it can be either FBA or merchant fulfilled. Sales over the last year, we don't know by looking at it whether it's merchant fulfilled or FBA. Unfortunately, they don't break it down that way. I don't think they're able to. So that's something to consider. However, if there's that many sales, and we all know that FBA does really well compared to merchant fulfilled, especially with prime buyers, then we can kind of figure out that it's a good idea to possibly send this book in, assuming you didn't spend that much money on it. And I would price it lower because it's not selling for that much. There's a lot of offers under 3 offers under 11, and then a good amount under 12. So as long as you are okay to sell it for $9 to $11 to sell it fast, then you can send it in and try to sell it quicker. Hopefully that all makes sense. That these are MF or or FBA. So we kind of have to just understand that when we go into it. Here's another one, The Sound and the Fury. This is by William Faulkner, Norton Critical Editions. This one has a little bit of a range when it comes to the cost, but when you look at 3 camels, so all a little bit different here, but 1 year, you'll see how it's pretty consistent here. It goes all the way down to 12,000 and up to 291,000, which is a great range. But now lately, over the past month or so, as you can see here on the right, because this was back a year ago and here we are currently, it's starting to sell a lot more because of back to school. So this is a book that clearly sells a lot of copies when kids head back to school or students head back to school, especially college students. And let's break it down here to 1 month. And again, it's a bit difficult, but here on the left you can see that's a sale at the top, then it drops, so it goes from 37,000 down to 101. Another sale back up to 37,000, drops down to 74. Another sale about 37,000, drops down to about 60,000. Another little bit of a sale there, and then it drops all the way down to 110. And another sale here or here, not sure. And then another sale there, another sale, drops all the way down to 114, which is the lowest in the last month, and then it pops back up to 74. So you get the point here. And then it shoots back up. Now I'm not exactly sure, we're not exactly sure why it heads up further on one sale versus another sale, and why there's tiny little dips here. And there's, well, the bigger dips here have to do with it taking longer to sell, but it seems to be that the more frequently it sells here, it's going to drop lower, and then it stays there, right? It's staying around the 35,000 to 20,000 range here, and then this one drops a little bit lower down to 75, and then drops back up, pops back up. So this is a great indicator of how often a book is selling. And when you see a line like that that's all bunched together over a whole year or even over 6 months, you know that it's selling a lot of copies. And especially when you look at the best and the worst sales rank. So this is a book that the lowest offer is 7. That's pretty low, but the rest of them $10.95. You figure, even if you price it at $10, you should be able to sell it based upon how it's been doing lately, especially in the past 3 weeks or so. And this one, the price history. Let's see, well, what do you care about the price history? Well, over a year. Let's say you just want to do used. Well, this has really dropped to 1 penny here lately, probably because of back to school. The mega sellers want to sell it fast. get rid of their copies. But I don't look at price history too much, to be honest. I mostly just look at sales rank, unless there's something that I want to price, or I want to see if a high price is legitimate. I'll look at the price history. Like if it says $300, $400, $199 for a book, $99, I want to see, is it really selling for that much? So you can kind of match up the price history with the sales rank history and see where the sales fall. Is it selling when that price is really high, or when the price is low, and then when the price bumps back up, it doesn't sell? So, you know, that's good to use it for that. Here's another one, a VHS tape, Barney tape, ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. This is one that is selling from $7.70. It goes all the way up to $39.95, but it's a bit of a, aside from those two low ones, it looks to be above about close to $14. And this one is interesting here when you look at sales rank. So this is all about 2014, but when you look at 1 year, you can really see now exactly how many times it sells. So let's count them, right? Back here, back in August, beginning of September of 2015, there was 1 sale. So 1, and it drops down. 2, so the peaks, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in the last 12 months, it has sold 11 times. So just under, you know, once a month. Right through here, it was selling pretty consistently every month, and there was a bit of a space between about April 10th or so, and then all the way to June, it didn't sell. So it was all the way up to 93,000, then dropped all the way down to 237,000, almost 240,000. Then it went way back up. So this is an example of a VHS tape that does not have a huge demand, but it has a steady demand. So if you got this for really cheap, I would say less than $1, 50 cents, a quarter, 59 cents, whatever it is, and you want to send it in, just understand that there's a little bit of competition and it doesn't sell that often. So this is one that if I had multiple copies, I wouldn't want to send in more than one, and I just want to wait to price it a bit aggressively to try to sell my copy because it's not selling that often. If the prices were higher, if there was more demand, or the same demand but less supply, then you could probably keep that a higher price, knowing that a sale will come along, but it'll just take a little bit of time, but people will probably pay that amount of money. And understand too that Barney is a popular kids program, and a lot of them are only on VHS, and people want to get them, so they're willing to pay for them. So the last one is a CD called Brian Wilson in the Key of Disney. And this one, there is only one offer here, or one FBA offer for new. This one, you look at sales rank, let's look at 1 year, it actually sells quite a lot. So let's break it down to 1 month. Oh, not that much 1 month, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 3 sales or so. That's a little better. 6 months, you can see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 or so over 6 months. So it's about 2 sales a month. And then you figure over a year, it looks to even be doing better than that. It slowed down a little bit for whatever reason, but it's probably doing more like 40, 50 sales over the whole year. And you can match it up with the price history to see where the prices have been. Let's see third-party used. Look at that, 323 is the lowest, and new is pretty 410 to 1004. Again, that's not necessarily FBA, but you got a good idea of what you're looking at here and where you should price it. So hopefully that helped you guys out a little bit. Put this video together just to kind of as an introduction to Camel, to 3 Camels, for anybody out there who is trying to use it but is confused by it. Hopefully it made sense. Ask some questions if there was something I didn't explain right, or you didn't understand, or if I messed up, or there's something more about it that I'm not getting or not using that maybe I should be using, let me know. It's pretty simple once you understand it. The sales rank history is really, really a big deal, because when I'm on my phone using FBAScan, I can just hit the 3 Camels icon and it'll pop it open right away. And then I can go between all 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, and I can see what a book or other item is, how often it's selling over that time period, so I can quickly get an idea in my head. Now I can also see the average sales rank over 3 months. I can also see that with FBAScan, but sometimes I want to look in there and see how many copies are selling over a year, so I really know whether I want to buy it, so I have more of an informed decision, and I can do that really quickly with FBAScan. So that really helps. It's a lot easier than using the Amazon Seller app, which was great for me, but it's become a little buggy, and it doesn't have 3 camels, so I'd have to have the browser and go back to the browser, and that's a pain in the butt. So just using that on my phone, my app, FBAScan app, is really helpful. And then when I come home and actually do the listing, I frequently use the Camelizer extension on my Chrome browser, and I can just quickly open it up in another window, take a look at it, and that's what I like to do. I mean, even if it takes a little bit of time, I like to make sure that I'm pricing it to sell, right? Not just to sit there for a long time and not sell, unless it's going to go for great money. So that's CamelCamelCamel for books, FBA, a CD, and a VHS tape. It doesn't really matter, but I think for books it's great, as well as other media. So it's made a big difference for me in learning how to use it and listing and selling books and other items on Amazon. So thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, I don't make too many tutorials, but I do it once in a while. Usually I do vlogs. But thanks for watching. If you're new, hope you enjoyed it. And as always, remember, keep booking. Among the Thugs, Barney tape, Brian Wilson and the Key of Disney,